Hello and welcome to the yet another amazing session of Time to Shine. This is your host Ruxara Sayed, and today I'm in conversation with the founder and CEO of an online training platform. It's a PCOS party. We are thrilled to welcome Georgie, the founder and CEO. Georgie is the degree qualified nutritionist, level 3 personal trainer, and life coach, specializing in PCOS management. Having battled PCOS for 15 years, she successfully lost 35 kg and regained control over her system. Welcome, Georgie, on my show, and I'm glad to have a conversation with you today.
Thank you so much. Me too. That was a lovely introduction. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So, Georgie, what motivated you to create such an online training platform and to empower women to combat the symptoms of PCOS?
Well, I mean, it was literally through my personal journey, right? I turned a pain into a passion. I was diagnosed when I was 15. I started my periods when I was quite young, and then I lost them for a couple of years. And one of the biggest symptoms of PCOS is irregular periods, and you're not ovulating. And then I basically went on a literally 15-year health journey roller coaster of piling a lot of weight. I had skin issues, low energy, awful sleep, like you name it, I had it. All the doctors, back and forth, they just put you on birth control, which I then took for sort of 10 years, which actually just masks your symptoms rather than, it's not a healing thing in any way, shape, or form. In fact, I personally believe it's one of the worst things that's ever been invented for women. Um, and yeah, like doctors just told me, go on the pill, would send me home with no support or anything. And I literally was being failed by the system left, right, and center. So I just said, enough's enough. I'm a very competitive, I guess, person. I don't want to take no for an answer. And I had to figure it out for myself. So I did through research, trial and erroring on myself. I did biochemistry nutrition at uni. So that's sort of where, I guess from having the condition, I fell in love with nutrition, trying to understand the body. And I basically, yeah, managed to reverse the condition myself. I lost my weight. I got my hormones all rebalanced. I got my cycles back completely and ovulating. So there's actually no signs of PCOS left in my body. And that's basically where it's from, like I'm desperately, PCOS is growing at an alarming rate. And it's wild to think that we're in 2025 and still ladies are being given the same advice from doctors that I was given 15 years ago. And I'm like, what is going on? Like it really can be managed and reversed
Yes.
with good nutrition and lifestyle.
Exactly. Exactly. And women, they are often they are not able to diagnose the symptoms, and it get worse. So PCO is such a complex condition. How does your platform help women out there to,
Oh,
overcome these issues?
well, first of all, I would say I keep it very, very real. I'm a very genuine, honest, raw person. I show the good sides and the bad sides. I'm not, I'm a no fluff kind of person. Um, and, I break it down into very small, bite-sized, practical steps, right? This is a lifestyle. These are building habits. It's not a diet. In fact, that word diet really upsets me because it's almost like it's a temporary thing that people go on, right? If you don't change your lifestyle and your habits, then you're not going to see improvements, okay? Like it's, all this bullshit of like cutting carbs and doing something so restrictive for a couple of weeks, then that will only lead you to going back into that vicious cycle, and restricting and then binging again. So my platform is very much built around education, but more important, application, I'd say. Knowledge is great, but action is where the magic really happens. And women get a personalized nutrition plan, a fitness plan, but also in my app, it has endless, coaching videos. It has sort of mindset stuff, but also stress, sleep, supplements, all of these parts that are really important and have such a key impact. Um, and yeah, PCOS is way more than just a physical thing. It's really, really tough mentally too. So, it's all about empowerment, really. It's not about deprivation or restriction. I really preach the balanced life, hence it's called It's a PCOS party. We're here to have a good time on this planet, and you can do both, you can be healthy and look after your body, but you can also enjoy that pizza and that prosecco when you want to.
Exactly, exactly. So can you share a success story from someone who has used your platform to take control of their PCOS journey, and what changes did they experience in their entire journey?
Gosh, I honestly have so many. I'm not here to brag, but I genuinely do. So just off the top of my head, I guess like the biggest transformations, the ones that like really get me as well, because I really feel deeply to my core. Like I'm a sensitive Sally, and I think because I've been in the pain as well. When I see these women in their pain and then they come out the other side, like they my clients kind of become my friends, to be honest. A lot of them, I'm with them on their journey. So I had a lovely lady called Kelly. She came to me. She had tried 3 rounds of IVF and all failed. And then she worked with me for 6 months and we managed to, get her to lose a little bit of weight. Her stress was through the roof, so we really toned that down. She lost about 7 kg, but again, not restricting. And we managed to, bring her ovulation back, and then she fell pregnant naturally. And that was obviously like, I think the biggest one for me is that, right? Is when a client ends up with what they want, and that's a family and a child, and when they've struggled so much, like
Exactly.
it's really magical. And the other ones for me as well is I had Tammy, who had been on birth control similar to me for years and years, and she basically hadn't had a cycle for 10 years plus. And she was really, I'm not going to be horrible, but just quite grey in the face, quite sad, very inflamed, very puffy. And she just didn't have that glow, right? And we all deserve as women to have a glow.
Yes.
Um, and we helped her again just like find that, and it's not just about the weight loss, right? Obviously that's a key part, but it's actually like understanding your body for the first time, building your confidence back up, like being able to like wear a bikini on the beach and not feel like you have to cover up, or not feel yeah, that confidence, I think. So I think that's the real win, when you sort of work on that mindset as well, and like they start to love themselves again.
Yeah, but Georgie, let me tell you that you are doing a great job, because on your page also I have seen a lot of success stories, like people messaging you and then you turning it into a post. So it is really motivating for women out there who are suffering from PCOS, and they are getting a real motivation. So moving forward, talking about that one misconception which majority of the women has about PCOS.
Oh God, it's the classic. Like, I think so many women, not their fault in any way, but I think they just like feel that they have to accept PCOS and live in misery forever. Like I did it, for years at the beginning. I really thought that PCOS had ruined my life, and I was so negative and just like blamed it on everything. But like PCOS is 100% manageable when you know what you're doing. And so many women think they're broken because they've gained weight easily and they struggle with cravings, they're exhausted. And I just think, they give up. And again, it's not because of their fault. There's just not that support or that education out there. Like it's doctors being like, oh, like just being so dismissive or trying to throw a pill down your throat every time. And that's not the answer. My platform teaches women how to turn the tables around, actually support their metabolism, balance their blood sugars, and take control. And like PCOS is not a life sentence. That's what I really want to stress here. Like it's just a puzzle, and I help women piece it together.
Exactly. So, coming to your platform, like, how do you ensure your platform is accessible and inclusive for women from diverse backgrounds, who may be dealing with PCOS differently?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously PCOS is a complex condition, right? It's obviously the protocol that I follow and use is, 95% I'd say is the same for most women. But of course, you have different symptoms and struggles, and it is more of a case by case basis. So I do have one-to-one coaching as well if there is someone, who wants more of the accountability and work for me. But then on my platform, I specifically have categories that you can pick. So for example, you can pick focusing on skin or energy or fertility. And then all of them have sort of the weight loss aspect in there, because we'll give you, your numbers and things to follow, and it's got recipes and meal plans. But you can pick as well if you're sort of vegan, vegetarian, Indian, different cultures. I have lots of different cultures with different foods. I've worked with plenty, Arabic, the Arabic cuisine, everything. I'd say I'm a bit of an expert now on it all.
That's
um,
wonderful.
yeah, but I don't discriminate in any way, shape, or form. I make everything very flexible and adaptable. And also, whether you are a busy mom or a student, or Dubai specifically, we're so on the go here, right? And like we don't always have time to cook, and we don't have time to make complicated meal plans. These are simple, effective strategies where you can do health while you're doing everything else in life. Like you really can.
Exactly. We feel stressed up, when whenever we have to plan so many things out there, like cooking recipes, which are difficult. So it is very important that you provide the services in which there are simple and easy recipes for working mothers out there, and for working women. They can easily plan out the recipes, easily follow the diet plan, which is a great thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
exactly that.
yeah, looking ahead, what's your vision for future of women's health, particularly in addressing the common issues of PCOS?
God, honestly, I would love to be part of a world in my lifetime. I'm 34, and I would love to be a part where birth control doesn't exist anymore. And they have, and we evolve and we figure out a way. Like, I appreciate the reasons why some women are on it, okay? But it shouldn't be the reason, or it shouldn't be a solution that doctors even think about giving to help PCOS, because it does the exact opposite, right? It actually does, it contributes it shuts your hormones down, it puts them to sleep. So when you come off the pill later in life, this is when you're going to get problems with maybe having children. Infertility has increased, your acne, everything will come back with a vengeance because you haven't healed the root cause, right? Like, I want to be in a world where women are not dismissed by doctors. Like, they don't have to fight for answers. They have clear solutions. I'd love to see nutrition in schools, understanding your menstrual cycle and hormones, like in schools,
Exactly.
like it's wild to me that we are not taught that. It's wild. Like, I find it bonkers because it's actually like such a monumental
Important.
part of healing, not just PCOS, like every condition that's out there.
Yes, exactly. And you said it rightly that, in schools also this should be instilled to school going students, that what is the importance of knowing the fact and how to combat this. Because if we are totally depending upon the doctors out there, they will simply give the medications and the life cycle will be miserable. If you are totally depending on that, the symptoms will become even worse. And I have seen that in life experiences. I've seen that so many of my friends, they are totally depending on the medications, and then
Yeah.
the conditions are getting worse. So
I know, honestly, and it's awful. It really is. But yeah, we've just got to keep doing our best, I guess, as much as we possibly can. And little old me trying to fight a fight against the farmer world is tough. And every day, honestly, every day I just get beaten down in some way, whether that's shadow banned on Instagram or I'm not reaching the right people, but I refuse to give up. And I do think there is a movement out there now, definitely, with a lot more people understanding this and speaking up, right? I do think that is the power of social media and like podcasts and experts. We're
yes.
slowly getting there, which is wonderful.
Yeah, and social media is playing a great role over here, to pass on message and to train and guide the women out there. So, Georgie, you're doing a really great job of training women and empowering them so much, to solve these kind of issues on their own. So, I would
Yeah,
like to suggest all the women out there to enroll in your online training program and to gain insights on how to manage their own health. So thank you so
yeah,
much, Georgie, for joining today on my show. And I wish you all the very best for all your future projects and endeavors. And thank you once again for, taking out your precious time and joining in this Time
welcome.
to Shine community.
Anytime, honestly, loved it. Thank you so much. And yeah, girls, follow me. It's a PCOS party on Insta. DM me, they're always open. Any questions, I'm here for you.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much, Georgie.
You're welcome.
Yeah.